Ralph,
Yes,
they're here.
they most certainly are, guys.
They have come. They have invaded. They are here.
The invasion has started. Oh man,
We are being invaded
What's-
by the Body Snatchers. We got
got
Marvelous
big-ass heads.
and the God of Dad Bod on the show. Guys, how we doing?
I'm doing chill.
And way to crash the party.
Awesome. We're
Yeah,
here. We're ready.
absolutely.
Let's go. Let's do this. The body
Getting right in
snatchers.
there, man. And you guys are
Oh
all
wait, let's
set
show
for
the
this
screen.
thing.
Well, it's that you're,
Yeah.
it's, 6'4", 375 over here. Oh, look at the screen
Yeah.
right here.
For those watching, that's our logo that we made for them in the background.
A little.
Yeah,
A little odd, little ode.
nice.
All the. But we're here. What's up, boys?
What's
Hey,
going on?
what's going
So
on?
let's start things off kind of simple, because you guys have kind of just coined yourselves the Body Snatchers. Where did the idea for that come about, and was there ever going to actually be a name beforehand, or did it just kind of click?
So there was never a name beforehand. When they gave us the tag team like assignment, we didn't know what to do, so we would just be spitting like adjectives and nouns at each other
Every day.
every day. I'm like, yo, what if we're the darkness of like imagery, or like what if we like are from like space evil, and it would just like we would come up with like rhyming schemes that like work, but it just didn't snap. And
Right.
Like, one day, during a factory show, an incident happened. Marvelous, take it away.
Yeah, we're not gonna get too much into detail about the incident here, what happened. But basically, what I saw was a body being snatched, and I said it out loud, and I was like, "Man, that sounds really cool." You know what? We're the Body Snatchers. You know?
Yeah.
We're the Body
The
Snatchers.
person
What we
doing
do.
the bit at the time,
Wasn't a body snatcher.
not at all. It was much like just
Not a believable body snatcher at all.
Nice.
So then I heard it, and I'm like, yeah, that's like a T-shirt. That's like,
Oh yeah.
and like the movies that it's like inspired from is like quintessential classic. Like it's old school,
Yeah,
which is like
right.
what I'm kind of going for already.
Right.
So it just works on a lot of levels. Kayfabe level, it works for our characters too, because
Oh, of course.
my kayfabe character is like a space entity invading like this dude's body, and then like
I'm all about the light, and the dark.
Yeah.
My inner consciousness just like projecting out to the world. So that's basically both our gimmicks, and we figured that together we're still alike. Like I mean, literally the when I see him setting up a table with crystals, long before he even signed up for the Monster Factory, I'm cutting promos with crystals, and
Right.
things like that. And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, man, we could make something worse. I mean, work, but like we didn't want to make it so like, oh, so corny. Like we're the light beings, things like that, or the enlightened
Right.
ones or anything like that. Like no, deep down inside, at the end of the day, like we're ass kickers. Like we kick ass, man.
Yeah.
Like, we really do. Like we believe in this whole spiritual and this whole different dimension, but there's so many layers, and right now we're just in our dark side and we love it.
Yeah, like we needed a name that like kicked ass as much as we like were showing on camera and like in the moments. Like leading up to that, we were like having like a thing with some of the newer dudes at the factory.
Right.
We're having like segments with like Christian Rocco and Oliver, and just like we were kind of like the only heels that like really bring like a heel atmosphere. A lot
Right.
of times it's been like in betweener like type stuff, which is totally fine, especially like people who don't experience like pretty outside of the world life stuff like me Marvelous have.
Right.
Like, they're not going to be able to bring that type of energy that we can, and we definitely fit like this niche that wrestling is missing entirely, and it's just been so fire.
Right.
Great.
What you see out there, it's really us. There's obviously no filter with him. I look at him sometimes and I'm like, geez, okay. That was just him. But no, everything you see out there is real. Like you see me out there, I'm pissed off or I'm mad. It's real pure aggression right now.
Right.
That's real. You can't fake that. I see the ones that do fake it. They want to go out there and be a tough guy. It's like, all right, what makes you a tough guy besides acting like a tough guy?
Right.
It doesn't mean go out there and have 100 fights. it just means it's like everything you've been through, what you have overcome to make you stronger. That's what makes you tough.
Absolutely.
It's like saying it without saying it. It's like if I'm wearing a blue shirt, you don't have to say, "Yo, he's wearing a blue shirt." You just look at it and you know. So when we show up, we're the Body Snatchers. We're this cosmic answer for all this mid wrestling. Like, we don't have to say it, but we say it anyway, just because it's promotion sake. But when like fans see it and like consumers see it, they're like, I want to see like a hero beat this tag team. Like, the stuff we did with Mimi and Travis, like such a good like babyface tag team that we get like such a good reaction during that match.
Yeah.
That's what the thing about that is that we lost the tag titles, and I'm so sad about that. To be honest,
I was sad.
Right.
Huh? I was sad too because I was really hoping to see you guys wearing them on your shoulders on the podcast.
Busted my lip, man.
Yo, she hit him in the face so hard. I know I should be laughing on your tag partner. Bad, but I was down. Like, we'll rebound because we are the Body Snatchers. That's what we do.
Of course.
We never let no cosmic entity stop us from succeeding.
Not at all.
That kick was crazy. That kick was crazy.
Sorry, man. That's why
she dived on me, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't back on me.
Anyway, what else, guys?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you guys got the assignment to be a tag team. So when you guys started out, when you first became a tag team, had you had a lot of experiences as singles wrestlers before that, and kind of what was like the transition into being a tag team now? How was that for you?
Yeah. Well, you've been now wrestling for what, 3 years? 3 years?
He's
been wrestling about 3 years. I've been wrestling for 5. Literally 4 right now out of the 5. I've been singles. I have singles runs at the Monster Factory and things like that.
Nice.
I was at the time period, I was looking for something to do, something different, because I just did the whole middleweight thing for months on end with Daniel Alexander. And we had an epic ladder match, and I was proud to bring the middleweight division up and to have other people go ahead and defend and challenge for the medallion. But then I needed to find something new. I didn't know what that was. So I was kind of floating around there in between, just coming in, still putting in the work. And finally, I thought that I had to look around and really see, like, okay, what's something new that I could do? And I saw him. He came in since day one. He's been busting his ass. And I remember the first time I went up to him, I said, hey, man, imagine 6 months from now, like, where you'd be. Just keep doing this, because there's so many people that sign up in wrestling. They come in, they have this like vision of being a superstar. But then when it comes to putting in the work or dealing with what they got to deal with in training, they just run. They're out. They're gone. You see them again. And this man came in, lost so much weight, put on so much muscle, got so much charismatic, came out of his shell, because before he used to be just kind of here. And I was the same way, but kind of by choice, because it's kind of how I've always been. Like, I don't deal with BS. Like, I'm not a kid. Like, I just go straight forward. I know what I want. Like, this is professional wrestling. You're here not only just to perform, but to be a star. So you have to be a star in all aspects of your life. And I've always felt that way since day one. And then when finally got an opportunity, there was a storyline. I mean, this has literally been a whole year, the storyline. You got to really pay attention to all those people who haven't watched the Monster Factory. Please go on our YouTube page, watch all of our shows, go down the playlist, see this, because this story started with me last year at Turkey Slam. I came out and I started having these entities come out, which was basically my light and my dark side. They were chasing me for months. I was losing all that. And finally, I had a match with him. They came out. I got a stick. I don't like to cheat because I was a baby face. I was such a proud baby face for 4 years. Nobody has ever seen me even speak my mind. I would sit there quietly and I'll just go to work. That's all I would do. And I think the fans respected that, but I also think the fans wanted a little bit more. And I was holding myself back because I didn't want to, I don't know, I guess, lose that perception of like, I'm here, I'm a tough guy, because I was trying to be a tough guy at the time. It's like I was saying earlier, like instead of just being genuinely who I am. Finally met him. We have the match breakdown. We have a promo segment. I just tell him, hey man, like this is you and me. We could do this. We could have all the money, get these tag team belts, conquer this division, and conquer professional wrestling in a whole. And I feel like in a short amount of time, we have done that with just the the Monster Factory giving us a platform.
Yep.
Victory Pro Wrestling also in New York giving us a platform to just go out there and be the Body Snatchers.
Yep.
True.
Absolutely. So why don't you guys tell us about your individual journeys before you were the Body Snatchers? We can go with Marvelous first and then Dad Bod. Whoever wants to go first.
That's all you.
I just got done with a segment, so just a second.
All right.
I guess all right, I'll go first just because my answer kind of also ties in with the previous question, so it's kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Perfect.
So in my life now, how I view it, I see it as like pre-wrestling, post-wrestling.
Right.
My pre-wrestling life, I didn't really do anything at all. I had no motivation in life, and I just didn't like anything, so I never really tried. And then, life happens. You find different things, different outlets.
Right.
Maybe stuff isn't as bad as you think it is. Now I have something to like work for. And then, so 2019 happens. WrestleMania comes into New York, and I just saved up a bunch of money from like working these dead ass shifts who are just like endless.
Right.
So I go to Mania, and I'm like entranced with everything. Like every wrestler you ever wanted to meet is there.
Right.
Like any wrestler who's like hungry, who's like looking for it, like an opportunity, you can feel it. And I'm like drunk off of this. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm going to like 30 different wrestling shows in a whole weekend, compacted. People are hustling. People are just having a good ass time. And so at the end of this trip, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is what I want to do. This is like the outlook I've been looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Around the same time, I'm on Twitter. Danny Cage is posting shit that like resonated like incredibly well to me. It's like invest in yourself. If it doesn't work out, whatever. Like real motivational shit like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Danny Cage, in the Monster Factory. So I'm like, let me look this up. At this point, I didn't even know you could go to school for wrestling. I have never even heard about wrestling schools. When I was watching wrestling in like 2005, like unheard of. Like my parents were like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do something else. But then like I found out about it, and then I hit up Danny Cage, and he's like, yeah, come on in. We have these sales all the time. And then I was like, okay, cool. But then I was like a spot in my life where I was like a pussy and just like, I would never take anything for like myself. I would just like wait for shit to come to me. But then like a year passed, boom, COVID happened, lockdowns happened.
Yeah.
All like I had to like really sit down with myself, reflect on what I want. At that same time, Danny Cage is like $1,000 for tuition. Before that, it's like $5G.
I pay so much more.
You got beat. You got beat, Marvelous. You got beat.
There's stores at the factory now. It's like did you pay full price or did you get the discount? Like there's discount wrestling bodies.
Yep.
Like it's so funny.
Everybody got all these new cats talking, we talk about paying their dues. I was like, y'all pay half the price that I did. I don't give a damn if you come in this building and wipe it every single day. Y'all still ain't pay half of what I did.
And I look back at it now, like it could have been like $10,000. I would still pay.
So worth it.
Monster Factory is just so life changing. Like
right.
Danny Cage did tweets about it, and it's just like if you're an outsider reading it, it's like, oh, this is cool, but like to experience it and just like letting it take over.
Right.
Trusting that system and just like trusting and believing in like pro wrestling, like that has taken me so much farther than like a lot of these vets in the biz who just, like won't take the time to like actually invest in their shit.
Right.
Fucking excuse my. Hey, I'm the first one.
It's good.
I can't control what he says, man.
It's cool. You're all good, man. You're good. You're good.
It should be like an alien thing every time he like cusses or something. That make that happen, honestly.
No, but for real, so I'm like, so post COVID, like everyone just literally like, let's say the lockdown started in March. We just went through like 6 months of like insanity. So I'm like, all right, nose down. I'm gonna do everything. Like I was a huge fan of like the young line system in Japan.
Oh yeah.
I'm like so shocked that we don't have a system in wrestling like that. Like the Monster Factory is the closest you'll ever get if you want.
We do the drills.
We do the drills.
Right.
We do the squats. We do the push-ups.
Often we do
It
bando,
sucks.
so.
And like
It
that's
sucks.
why at the Monster Factory you can get like crazy athletes like Xander Alexander
right.
and
Brett, all
Goldie
those guys,
Brett,
man.
and then you'll get someone like me who's just like a couch potato scumbag with like nothing at all. But then once you get in the ring, it's like,
Smells
okay,
good.
this dude got something. Like Danny
Yeah.
Cage, like
Right.
that's his like. I'm just gonna say mythology. I know that's not the right word, but like that's his bread
That
and
could be
butter.
right.
No, there's
That works.
potential, and he knows there's potential in us. Like that's why he like is so giving to us.
Right.
So to piggyback the last question with Marvelous, because I remember that conversation. I remember it because we still had to turn the mask on, and I'm like dying. I can't breathe. I'm already big as hell.
Right.
Heavy as hell. I'm like waterboarding myself with like my sweat. And here he comes, like he's like one of the few people that like noticed me as like more than just like a fan trying to get in. Like
Right.
obviously
Takes time,
saw
man.
that like I'm a hustler.
Mm.
Other people that around that time doing the same thing as me was like Chris Desmond. I don't know if y'all know him, but you probably
Yep.
do because he's a world renowned. Shout out Chris Desmond because he was also putting in the work.
Yeah.
And it's just like he also wasn't like really getting like the love he deserves. So
Right.
just shout out to Chris Desmond for being like
No, everybody's getting the love that
Yeah,
they
man.
not deserved, they earned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Earned. It's not deserved, is that they earned. You know, like everybody like at least
Yeah.
right now has earned their spots.
Yeah.
Like I said, I started before COVID, and that was kind of when COVID hit, it was hard because I feel like just as a wrestler 2 years in, I was just starting to get my groove on.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Right.
I went through an injury and I was coming back, and as soon as I come back, I get one match and then the world shuts down.
Bad
Um,
timing.
But
Bad
I
timing.
knew then that if we just, pass through that and keep on wrestling, and everybody that's in wrestling now, 3 years from now, we're going to be main eventing and headlining things. I mean, he's just co-main evented, Turkey Slam this past week, right? Last
Yeah.
week. So, I'm sorry, I got hit in the head. Sorry, I don't remember.
No, that's good.
But,
sorry. Yeah. Do you mind if I?
no,
Sorry. So then I guess like that's my early life into the wrestling, and then I didn't come up with the God of Dadbot name is already a thing I had on like social media just
Nice.
because I thought it was silly.
It's amazing. It's never changed that name.
Yeah.
Never
I
changed
can't.
that name.
I can't. Danny Cage was like, because I used to be DK Lewis. That's why
Yeah.
sometimes you'll hear people say, "Yo, DK."
Yeah.
I'll say D.
He'll say D now.
But I'm only the only one allowed to say D.
Yeah. Some people still call me DK, but like Danny Cage, he pulled me aside. He was like, all these wrestlers, there's so many wrestlers with initials. Go by the God of Dadbot. Do that. He was like, nobody's wearing the Hawaiian shirts like you're gonna wear them. Wear the
Right.
Hawaiian. And now it's just like my bread and butter is God of Dadbot Hawaiian shirts.
No, it's so good. When I told Ralph your names, Ralph was like, "Oh man!" I'm like, "Yeah."
It was just incredible stuff.
Thank you.
My name started as Marvelous Marcelo.
Right.
So there's still that habit where some people that know me back then want to still call me Marcelo. And
Right.
I'm like, stop calling me Marcelo. I'm marvelous.
I'm
Yeah,
marvelous.
Because there's always been a marvelous something.
Right.
Mhm.
And even now where I go to different shows, they're like Marvelous. I'm like, what's your name? I'm like, Marvelous. And they're like, Marvelous. Well, I'm like, Marvelous. So simply Marvelous? No, Marvelous.
No.
dude. Like,
it's just marvelous.
like
It's
marvelous,
just
marvelous.
And
Yeah, I've been in a place where it's like, yo, I'm the guy
Yeah.
of Dadbot, and they'll just announce me as Dadbot. I'm like, bro.
Like,
No, I'm the
this is a
god
Tribe Called
of
Quest.
Dad Bod. I am a god. Call me as such.
Yeah, Tribe Called Quest rules with me. God of Dadbot.
I know that now. Let's say, for example, now I know certain promotions, maybe depending on what it is, we're working. I might have to go under a different name, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But listen, man, if I'm somewhere at a flea market, bro, you're gonna call me Marvelous, man.
Yeah.
All right? Because I invest so much time and so much money into my logos, my tights,
right.
and they all say Marvelous,
Yep.
And that's what
Always.
we're doing. This is my investment, Like this is where we're at. He's the god of that bot. He's got to invest in himself. Everything he says,
Yep.
is got that
That's
bot,
right.
But again, hey, we're on TV or something. Call me whatever you want.
Listen, but flea markets, you have been warned.
You have been
you
warned.
Just damn it, you beat
Marvelous or
bingo
nothing at
halls,
all.
You've been warned. VFWs, call me marvelous, damn it.
Call me marvelous.
So, talk a little bit about you guys as wrestling fans. You know, wrestling fans growing up, wrestling fans now, and maybe if there were some moments or some matches where you kind of just had the light bulb went off, and you were like, "This is what I got to do."
Yeah.
So no, I've been watching wrestling. I mean, my whole life. It's just always been on.
Right.
My parents used to watch wrestling. I grew up in that new generation attitude era. So
Same.
so of course, like my first favorite was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And what's crazy is that Undertaker was scary as fuck to me.
Oh yeah.
That's
two. That's two.
That's not good. Sorry, but
It's all good.
I apologize to all the viewers.
No, you're good.
Viewers is advised when you're dealing with the body snatchers. Okay?
Exactly.
And about body snatching, that's what we used to. Ooh, look at that.
Ew.
Freak me out. So that's what used to freak me out about Taker is that literally after his matches, he will put people in a body bag and take them out.
Yes.
Right.
That
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
stuck with me. And
Right.
not only that, but then Shawn Michaels will come out and all the girls love him and
Yep.
he's so charismatic. He's dancing and he's stripping. I'm like, he is awesome. And then Stone Cold comes around and forget about it from there, right? So
Yep.
I've been
course.
watching wrestling my whole life. One of my favorite matches, especially early matches, I remember just trying to watch on the little black box.
Yeah.
Literally is WrestleMania 13 is Austin versus Brett.
Oh, of course.
So good. Yeah.
Such
I
a
mean,
good match
I'm a kid.
too.
I'm a
Such
kid.
a
I'm
good
not
match.
watching it. I'm not watching it for the moves or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm watching because of the drama. You know, Jerry the King Lawler
Yes.
is saying, it's WrestleMania, baby, and Austin's bleeding. I'm like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Sign me up, man. So it's been just listen, man, I'm a huge wrestling fan. There's so many favorite wrestlers, you know, but definitely want to hear DK's. Should we tell him the Rey Mysterio story? Which one? The Rey
There's a
Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio
Ooh.
story.
We've been both, but
Tell us the Rey
you-
Mysterio story.
Were you mistaken for Rey
But
Mysterio?
you are you got into a Rey Mysterio fan, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's make this clear. You're a Rey Mysterio fan. You got into this Rey Mysterio.
My wrestling fandom started in the early 2000s, 2004 with Day Reckoning and like SmackDown versus Raw.
Good
were
game,
hot.
Oh, good game too.
Yeah.
I was
Great game.
introduced to wrestling through the video games.
Right.
So then
Fantastic.
fast forward
Mhm.
like 05, post WrestleMania 21, my mom, she worked at a bank. Shout out to my mom, love you. She worked at a bank, and then somehow her friend at the bank had tickets to SmackDown.
Right.
And it's like right before Judgment Day.
Oh,
So
nice.
the SmackDown I go to, number one is the debut for the John Cena video,
Oh.
Batman video.
Oh yeah.
But then
So
also is the main event is Rey Mysterio, Chavo Guerrero.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this is post Eddie and Ray having their Mania 21 match where they're doing the stuff.
Right.
So then I'm like, oh, Eddie Guerrero, he makes the save because Eminem and Chavo beat down Ray. You're like, oh, this is gonna end on nah. Eddie beats the hell out of Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm like 6, 7 years old. I'm like crying. I'm in tears.
Devastated.
I've never watched a weekly wrestling show before until that very moment. That was the moment I felt.
You were hooked.
I was
You were hooked.
I was hooked. I was like grabbing the chair. I'm like, I'm gonna get in there and shit. And then I was hooked. Rey Mysterio. Shout out Rey Mysterio. So I want to hear this story.
By the way, shout outs to Rey Mysterio, bro. When I was younger, you definitely made me believe, brother. So, Pete, this real quick. My first SmackDown ever, I went to. The main event was a rookie John Cena with American Badass Taker going against Chris Jericho and Kurt Angle.
Oh wow.
And Atlantic City, and The Rock just came back from doing the Scorpion game.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
So
Talk
I'm
about
old.
a throwback. Wow.
I'm old.
Wow.
They had velocity. They had testing.
Yeah.
In Hurricane.
Yeah.
But fast forward a couple years later, 2004 maybe, I don't know, 5. Anyway, Rey Mysterio was already the champion at that point. There was
Right.
a live event in Atlantic City. It was just a simple live event. I wanted to go there. I mean, this is ultimate peak Rey Mysterio here, right?
Oh yeah.
And I got my mask on, and I want to meet him. And then, you know, as the wrestlers are going and the matches are going, I'm getting front row, getting shake hands with Bobby Lashley,
Right.
Boogie Man, guys like
Right.
that. Rey Mysterio comes out. And it's gonna suck. The first time he comes around and get the handshake, I'm like, cool, whatever, right? Second time after the match, he beats Randy Orton. It's him against Randy Orton, which, like, by the way, shout out to Randy Orton. Last night at War Games, that was awesome.
Yeah,
such
yeah, it
huge
was.
Randy Orton. Randy's
Yeah.
dope.
That man was jacked like you would not believe.
He
last
got
night.
in
Like, he
such
was
good
so
shape
ripped.
for this. Oh yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
ripped.
But so anyway, Rey Mysterio goes around, and as I'm right there and I'm gonna shake his hand, these kids push me to the back. I fall on the floor.
Oh no.
Everybody got to meet Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio leaves. I break down, crying. in
I'm
tears.
sure.
I didn't
I'm
get to meet
sure. I
Rey
would be
Mysterio.
too.
Oh my goodness! And I remember
Oh.
that whole night was just ruined by that, and like
Oh.
I was so upset. I was
No good.
traumatized to this day. So Rey Mysterio, if I ever get to meet you, brother, I hope this is the chance. Brother, I'm here, man. But you owe me at least a hug and a handshake.
At least a hug. At least a
Because I
hug.
went through some trauma that night.
I just want to say before I give you my Rey Mysterio meeting moment, I just want to say now that you're a worker and like they're like your age now, those kids, they're gonna bring their kids to see you, and you can just be like, nah.
Nah,
No.
I'm
Nah.
not here for these kids. I'm not here for these kids.
You'll see them kids, you'll look them in the eyes and like,
Nah.
your dad
Yeah.
knows why.
I got
Your dad knows why.
And you turn around and
grow up
leave.
tough like I did.
Wow.
Oh
I
man.
guarantee you, all those kids that got the hugs and handshakes from Rey Mysterio just grew up to be a bunch of bums. A bunch of bums that live in their mom's basement arguing about, oh, CM Punk is not an AEW no more. It's one of those losers. While we over here grew up tough and snatched bodies now.
That's right.
Wait, that night got me hype. I'm ready to walk away. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
So traumatized by that night.
Oh, man.
Well, speaking of traumatized, I have to bring it up. You guys mentioned it earlier. You guys did, unfortunately, at Turkey Slam, lose the MFPW
Oh,
tag team titles.
Bringing things down.
makes it better. Yeah, it's
But-
like the Burger King commercial.
Let 'em cook,
But-
let 'em cook, let 'em cook.
I'm curious what it meant to you guys that Danny sort of gave you guys the ball and let you kind of run with it for a little bit as the tag team champions.
Shit, that meant a friggin' ton to me.
Yeah.
I'm not like a belt mark. I love like aesthetically, I love it just because I love it. But it like it means much more like as like a worker, than
Right.
as a fan. Like it means like okay, this person means that this means like they're investing time, effort. Like,
Mhm.
like yo, here's your spotlight, baby. Like here's this like. And especially with like as heels where it's like almost always plot device
Right.
like it was awesome like okay
Mhm.
you're telling me that we have compelling characters that are going to be used to make bigger baby faces and bring more eyes and more money like
Mhm.
thank you appreciate it
Mhm.
but then there's like for me also another layer where it's like I feel like it was hella earned just because of like putting in the work that I had. Not saying like I'm done putting in the work because that shit never done. I loved it. Like I love doing this. This is what I want to do.
Right.
But it's like hearing like hella people get like opportunities. People that are like my friends come to me and say, "Yo, why aren't you getting this or that and that?" And this is like my first year and a half into it.
Right.
Yo, let me cook.
You gotta,
Yeah.
Let me marinate.
You got to.
Because
Let it
it's like,
simmer. Let it
yeah,
simmer.
you gotta let. Because if I went in half-assed, like that first impression is gonna resonate with nobody, and it's just gonna kill my confidence. Like
Right.
I'm so happy I waited, and just like I'm just gonna be a guy who does suplexes and X, Y, and Z. Like
Yeah.
no, I'm happy that I was able to flesh this out and just like given this opportunity. It was awesome.
And honestly, to me, it's just I know that like at this point, like Danny trusts me fully to go
Right.
in there with whoever X, Y, and Z
Mhm.
and get the job done on all aspects. And I've been with the Monster Factory for 5 years. I've never left anywhere else to go train. Of course, I've been to seminars and things like
Right.
that. But I've
Sure.
always been a Monster Factory guy.
True.
And they always say like, well, people say, why you don't go out more and stuff like that. I do go out, right? I do have shows, but I also,
Right.
I feel like I have unfinished business as far as my character. And then
Yeah.
too, I owe so much for my character getting to blossom everywhere else I go that I will always still be at the Monster Factory putting on.
True.
And now more than ever, I love going out there and getting these reactions that I get, with
Yeah.
and it's fun. People bring signs. People are driving hours to come out. Not just with
Yeah.
us, but just for the Monster Factory show. So like, it just means that like what we're doing is right, and everybody else also too on the roster is doing their thing, is cooking also, and
Right.
you know we're all eating right now. Let's keep eating, and yeah, we might not have the titles now, but to be honest with you, I don't think a title labels us or anything like that. We go out there regardless and do the damn thing.
True.
And we're just here to kill it, man. I just want to kill it at this point. Like I love big match atmospheres. I love telling stories.
Right.
You know, it's cool to go out there and beat somebody up for 3 minutes, but it's also cooler to have a 15-minute banger, basically.
Yeah.
At that point, right? Like the one we had at Turkey Slam.
Cool was it to have your custom entrance at Turkey Slam? Because I saw that live, and man, you guys looked so cool with that lights and the timing and everything. Man, it was
cool.
so cool.
Yeah. Let's shout out to Brian Waters, by the way, our light guy.
Yeah, shout out to Brian Waters, our light guy. Shout out, because number one,
Brian all day.
Brian all day. Atmosphere.
Did you see the 2300 arena?
Atmosphere matters so much in wrestling events. The fact that we're able to get this, like y'all been in the building, you've seen it. Like we've been able to just have like high-end production, make it look so like actual like TV quality. Shout out to Brian Waters. Shout out to also shout out to Goldie, because he pretty much set all that up like relatively single-handedly. So shout out to him.
He knows where the cables go. I just know where to find them. You know.
Yeah.
But shout outs to him too for getting it all up and running though. And a couple others too that's always working over there. That's on the switch. Anybody that hops on, pretty much, it's a team effort over there. 100%.
Right.
We are able to eat because they are able to hunt and get the best for us. Like that's just
bars.
Facts.
Right.
That was so good. I forgot what the question.
What's the next question?
It's all good.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Monster Factory TV series.
Let's do it.
Obviously, that was pretty huge. And you know they sort of focused on certain people, but we did get to see the Monster Factory as a whole. And what was that whole experience like for you guys? Just being there while all this was going on.
I want to start because I have relatively negative.
All right. Well, hey.
So you want to start with the positive. All right.
Marvelous.
There's only negative.
I don't control what he says.
It's only negative.
Sorry, man. I don't control what he says.
It's all right.
That's just who I am as a person. Like
Yeah.
I could see a double rainbow. And I'm like, damn, it's raining out. Like that's the type of person I am.
Yeah.
Maybe all right. The backdrop of like pandemic, it's scary as hell. Like
It's overwhelming.
It was overwhelming.
I get it.
Plus, like we were getting COVID. That was all right. The safest place on earth in COVID was the Paulsboro Wrestling Facility.
There you go.
They were testing us every day.
Like
if you're
Antarctica.
sick, go home. We don't even care if you're a principal character. You're home. Like it was safe. Tested all the time.
Twice sometimes.
Twice all the time, bro. And when you got your COVID shots, you're allowed, a bit more freedom. Like it was just safety.
It's the grind.
Shout out to the
Of
production
course.
for the Apple TV people. They made it sure we were safe to be able to even film it during those like, real crazy times.
Yeah.
Around that time for me, I was going through trials and tribulations with home life and like just getting disrupted with like life shit that don't even matter now because I've risen above it. But around that time wasn't that great. And some of my friends who were also filming that time who aren't here with us also went through some really crappy experiences as the result of the show. But at the same time, it's like that's what we sacrifice to get the gold. Like it's blood money, but it's like it pays like green money.
Right.
And nothing, there's going to be moments where, especially like it's like every day, you had it for months on end. We had the cameras there and things like that. And that's not an issue, but you worry about getting in the way of something, or if somebody's filming something, you don't want to be too much, but then it's like you still want to be yourself.
Right.
And during that time for me, I was in that mode of like, what am I doing next? So then knowing that now we have the show, and of course, we pinpoint certain things, I know at that point, okay, I could either be bitter and walk away because I don't feel like the intention's on me or something like that, or I could just stick the course, do what I gotta do, because at the end of the day, like
I signed up for me.
Right.
I signed up to be in this for
Right.
me, and no matter what's going on, it's not my time. That's fine. It's not my time.
True.
It wasn't my time, and that's
Yeah.
cool with me. So what that made me do is that's made me reinvent myself. You know, I mean, I got rid of the white gear. You know,
Right.
I got rid of the hey, come on, babyface. But I tell you what, though, a documentary series though really shine a light on not only just the factory, but the individuals and what pro wrestling really is in a good way, in a positive way.
Right.
It's always, you always hear like dark side of the, you know, the ring and all these bad things. And it's like, no, like these are what certain people had to go through. This is what our coach goes through, you know, and everything you saw in there was real. Like my hair looked amazing. That's real. And a lot of the scenes there, you know, him, you know, I mean, a couple of the scenes too, just being strong.
Right.
But ultimately, though, it was an experience we all learned. It's a new experience.
I'm incredibly grateful for it.
100%. It's so cool, man. Like we're on, like, you know, I get to go to work and I'm like, hey, can you watch this show? It's on Apple TV. Yeah, we got this show. Like I besides posting about it, I tell people, I tell individuals, you know, it's like what we do is big here at the Monster Factory, and there should be a lot of people paying attention to what we do. And you know, I know that sometimes it's like, oh well, you know, Monster Factory, we're on the streaming services or things like that. Like, if you're a fan of wrestling,
watch it.
There's ways to get to us. We're everywhere. We're Danny Cage is posting every single day. You know, all the students are posting every single day. We're giving you links. Watch the product. If not, come out to the shows.
And we got actual good people at the factory.
Good people. Now,
like I know a lot of like lapsed wrestling fans who don't watch wrestling anymore because of like a lot of like real shit bleeding into everything.
Right.
But like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Get the aliens. Get the aliens. No shitheads. Get the alien lights going. No shitheads.
At the Monster Factory, like you could be fucking blue. I'm sorry. You could be blue with like snakes coming out of your head. You're gonna get You're gonna get the opportunity to shine. You're gonna get the opportunity to like prove it to yourself that you have it, or you're gonna get like that confirmation like this isn't for me. And we're not gonna stop you. Like other places, they'll stop you, or they'll gas you, or they'll let you gas you up.
They'll let you ride.
Like, oh, you're a star, just because they see the money bags that you might bring to them.
Yeah, on the ropes.
But you can't run the ropes, and you can't work a hold, or you can't even tell a story with your face.
Right.
But, like the factory, like we're gonna be honest with you, direct with you,
and tough too, because you had to be like that. Because I tell you, when Danny Cage is tough on us, like, and I go somewhere else, I'm like, listen, this is how you guys running it over here. I'd rather run like Danny Cage. I'd rather it be us like getting the chairs ready, you know what I mean? Making sure things are set, because when I go somewhere else and it's not as professional or it's not as strict, things go sour, the production goes sour, the whole product, the content, everything. Fans are not going to want to come back. So it's a team. Wrestling is more than just what you see, just us in a ring. It's everything else. It's a huge team effort. And we're at the Monster Factory, like, we're brother and sisterhood, you know?
Yeah.
Where everywhere we go, like, you know, it's not that we're cliquey or anything like that. There's like that with other schools. It's just like, no matter what, at the end of the day, like, you got your boys, because day in and day out, you come in for 4 to even 7 days a week at times to just train and bust your ass. You know, you're with your peers more than you are with your spouses, you know, and it's a constant grind. And because of everybody and because of Dan too, I mean, this is why we got the Apple TV show. This is why we're, you know, making this work. You know? So, shout outs, bang bang.
And I think what makes the Monster Factory stand out from the rest of maybe other training facilities is that you guys get taught literally everything: the producing, the ring setup, the ring, the promos. You learn literally every aspect of wrestling, not just the in-ring work.
True.
Would you like to hear a nice little quick story?
Please tell us.
I mean, did you know how I learned how to run the ropes?
Before,
I used to be a tippy toe runner.
Okay.
I was a tippy toe runner. I didn't know how to run the ropes. And like I said, I started a while back, a little bit before Damian Priest got to really start killing it now everywhere WWE. I was lucky to have him there at the very end. And he did not let me leave the ring. I was just a guy who came in a month. It's a Friday night. I'm sure he has somewhere to be. No, he stood there with me till 12 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And I ran the ropes nonstop until I finally got tired. Once I got tired, I really started running the ropes how they should be. Because I didn't think about it no more. I was thinking about how tired I was.
Yeah.
And Damian Priest, Punchman Martinez, taught me the ropes. And then from there, I had Ricky Reyes, who is just incredible.
Right.
Just experience out the wild, plus 20 years plus. Ricky Reyes, shout out to Ricky Reyes, because without him, I definitely wouldn't have the confidence I have. And then of
Right.
course I got Danny Cage now, and of course we got Missy always asking, always telling me, I need that oomph. And I know that me and Danny Cage's relationship is kind of like that, like, we got this, I got you, like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm not one. I mean, I guess we're the same way. I guess my anxiety, like I try. I'm standoffish from pretty much everyone, unless you, I don't know, come interact with me.
Right.
But I'm pretty just. I have this little bit of anxiety on everything, right? At the end of the day, because like
Right.
I want to do good, and I want to make him proud, and I want him to see that like this
Of course.
means everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I was like how he was saying before. My life previously, besides watching wrestling all day, like I've always been in sports, but I've also had ups and downs in life, and there's been a moment there where everything kind of stopped with me competitively, and I was
Right.
just living life dead.
True.
As a dead body, basically, pretty much
Right.
zombie mode, working. And then same thing like him. Like, actually, I was listening to a podcast, and it was Austin's podcast, and Danny Cage was on it.
I still never listened.
And then I went on Twitter, and he said he had an open house, and I went there, and it's changed my life since. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
he's with it. Going back to questions, but
Sorry. I can't believe we accidentally turned this into a Monster Factory like ad.
No, that's what this is. No, listen.
We're trying. Yeah,
That's what this is. So
no, I can't believe we accidentally.
Well, we get to plug in where we're gonna go everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I plugged in Victory Pro Wrestling.
Exactly.
I plugged in some places.
It's crazy though, because Sean and I have had this conversation before where we've both gotten a chance to experience Monster Factory show live, and I used to go to Chikara Pro all the time, and we talk about like that's where Sean and I met, and we talk about like when you go there, you kind of felt like you were a part of a family.
Mm-hmm.
You get there, you go there all the time, you see the shows. It's a really great atmosphere like that, and you don't see that a lot anymore, but you see that at the Monster Factory. Like everybody's just, it is such a chill place to go and see a show, and all the fans are great, and the wrestlers are great. It's just a fun time, and like I think that's what people are looking for now. They want to go out to shows and they want to have fun, and that's what the Monster Factory's doing. Like you're providing these fun places to just go hang out, have a good time, watch some great wrestling. And you get to see people that one day you're going to see on the big stage, because we're seeing the stars of tomorrow. We're seeing them right in front of us. It's an incredible experience seeing a show there. So it's cool that you guys get to talk about it a little bit like that.
Yeah.
I want to follow up on what you said, like, the next generation of wrestlers. Like, I'm someone who like kind of likes to break down like the decades of wrestlers. Like, the 90s had like Masawa and Steve Austin or whatever.
Yeah.
And lately I find myself thinking, wow, I'm really in this generation of wrestlers who are like, doing something completely new, and also something that's been done before, and it's just really humbling. And I get to do it like with the Monster Factory people. I get to do it with Marvelous.
Yeah.
I get to do it with like even like other students, like the Creative Pro kids, the Wrestle Pro kids, H2O kids, even like hella students out here in Jersey. But like, it's just really humbling. Like, it's just
very cool. So, what are so moving forward? In your wrestling careers, what are some goals you guys have as maybe not only just a tag team, but maybe some singles goals down the line? Like, what are you guys looking forward to?
I want to be on TV.
Yeah, he wants to be on TV.
I want contact. I didn't listen. I didn't do this to have fun. Like I did this because, like, one, I mean, obviously wrestling's been my life, but at the end of the day, like the ultimate goal is, well, obviously living life, right? That is the ultimate goal. Having fun in the present moment. The end goal, of course, obviously is a contract, but if that's not there, at least having the experiences. And luckily, like I've had some experiences with Impact Wrestling and MLW. And
nice.
Yeah, it's not me going out there having a storyline, but I really feel like I should have never ever been there, period. And the fact that like I'm in the ring and I'm getting beat up, and then I look at the turnbuckles and they say Impact. It's like, oh wow,
You're like, I'm
like,
here. We're
you know,
here.
I'm on a team. Yeah, like I, you know, watch this, or like I'm doing MLW and things like that, or like if I help out at New Japan, you know,
Right.
it's like I will have to buy a ticket. Now I don't buy a ticket. I literally just have to make sure I go get them the food.
Yep.
You know, or things like that, where like when I'm in those environments right there and get called in for extra work and things like that, those are where I feel like I belong, and
Right.
I'm good with that. Like I know honestly, like yeah, I will love an amazing career like anybody wants an amazing career,
Of
you know what I
course,
mean?
of
But
course.
if that don't play in my cards, I gotta definitely enjoy this ride. And like I always say, I'm like, if WWE wants to call me and have Braun Breaker or Bobby Lashley beat me up for a minute, I will be good. Trust
Yeah.
and believe I will be good
Yeah.
because I don't think that when I was depressed sitting in my car not knowing what to do, I was going to be in a WWE ring when I'm over here watching WWE videos to make me
Right.
happy to have that escape. So what if it's WWE, AEW, things like that? Like I'm here with it. Like you
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
that is my personal goal right now is to try to be TV ready, you know, to make sure the gear and everything like that is on point. And it's a lot more than just the moves, you know, it's
Right.
who you are as a person and connecting and things like that. So that's my goal right now because I'm eating away, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say like I'm old, but I guess in wrestling, I'm considered old, but I'm
Right.
still because I feel
Right.
I'm not even in my prime yet. So
Right.
I mean, age nowadays really, I've been saying to anybody that I can tell, really isn't a factor. I mean, look at Sting. He's going to retire at 64, and he still looks great, and he's still diving off of balconies and ladders, and he just doesn't care.
it's
So,
on
like,
TV, so it's definitely worth it. But out of the BXW or bingo hall, don't you dive off nothing.
Yeah. That's right.
Don't you do that.
Listen,
You flea market hoppers.
if you've got a TV show and you've got a balcony, I know this guy named Marvelous that will dive off of it.
Dive
gladly.
If you have a TV show, yes.
Only on TV.
They don't even gotta be
Not for
wrestling.
free. Not for
So
free.
so
This was
flea
Grey's
markets,
Anatomy.
flea
Hit 'em
markets,
up.
you've been warned. No diving off balconies. And
No
calling
diving on
Marvelous.
balcony. That's not allowed. No.
Yeah.
What's even the question?
Huh?
What's the question?
The
No,
question
so-
was, what are some goals?
So,
The question was, what are some goals that you have,
Yeah.
whether
That's what
as
it
a
was.
tag team
Yeah.
or as a singles guy?
Besides staying awake during your very first podcast.
Exactly.
His very first podcast, everybody. Let's
Very
give it
first
up, audience
podcast.
out there.
And what did we, Marvelous, what did we do today? Remember what were you going to say?
Huh? We're going to snatch bodies, of course.
No.
Wait, that
you said-
wasn't it. Oh man,
No,
see,
no,
I got
what
hit in
did
the
you-
head the other day. Sorry.
What were we popping?
We're popping.
Each other.
Oh, can I say that? We're popping cherry Pepsi, man.
Yeah.
We're popping cherries
Yeah,
out here. You know what I mean? So,
That's right.
sorry. Thanks for the reminder, by the way. I felt like it was such a long. We're now 48 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been doing this for 4 minutes.
And
48
listen,
minutes
just
have passed by.
just because we had a
Never lasted
Pepsi
that long.
logo on there does not mean we're gonna have CM Punk. So
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
the rumors, all the dirt
Rumors
sheets.
are
Cut it
not-
now.
Don't
Cut
write
it
them
out now. Cut
It's
it
not
out.
here.
No, the only time you ever see CM Punk, the only time you ever see CM Punk on the Mouse Factory is episode 3 of the Apple TV.
Yes, go
Hey,
check it
plug it
out.
in, look it
Go
up,
check it
baby.
out.
He is a
Look at
Go
that.
check it
Look.
out.
Hey,
He
That is
is a
brilliant.
walking
I love you,
advertisement.
buddy, but
A
I'm
walking
gonna snatch your body
advertisement.
one day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna snatch your body.
Yeah,
We
we
gotta
had
snatch
a,
your body.
I had a match I lost.
So
He beat my ass, bro.
moving forward,
That's great.
Wait, I just wanted to
move forward.
Yeah.
brag real quick.
okay,
Yeah,
say it.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I've met all my surface level goals in wrestling. I've wrestled in the 2300. I've
Nice.
won gold. I've been on television. I've been on local television.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've done it in wrestling. So everything past that is gonna wrestle outside of countries.
Nice.
Making, I want to buy my mom a house off of wrestling money.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
And then
Family
you
man.
know, and I just want to kill everyone else's hopes and dreams because that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see just like someone
Wow.
give up because they see me get
Yeah, I want
signed.
to see somebody get pushed down because they ain't
Yeah.
gonna shake
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaking his
Yeah.
hand.
That's right.
You know,
Oh,
so
man.
So tell us, kind of wrapping up the interview section here, what can we expect going forward from the Body Snatchers, and is there a plan to get those title belts back?
There is actually a plan
There
right
is a
now, and
plan.
if you guys go back, and actually everybody out there go back and watch TRL.
Yes,
Start to see
Friday
some
nights,
feeds right now,
9
dancing,
p.m.
You know,
New time.
New time
New
right there.
9 p.m.
You know, there's some seeds planning with there's a returning Benjamin King has returned.
I
to
saw
the
that. I was just going to mention that. What's going on with Benjamin King and your kind of alliance here? You got something going on here. Something
alliance is the word because, you know, we got some shared interests. We got some shared goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to.
And the same enemies too. That's what it is.
Frenemies, enemies.
Yeah,
you know, there's some people that have did him
the
wrong.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right, and there's some people that have did him wrong, and then actually those same people have now done us wrong. And now we're just basically here to,
you know, not the telegraph or nothing, but you know, they're too busy holding up the tag team title. Shit, did I give it away?
Stay tuned, guys. Every Friday.
Wow.
Stay tuned. You'll see what happens with the Body Snatchers.
Free entrance.
And Benjamin.
You know, if you're in Paulsboro, come through.
Can't snitch on ourselves here, man. You can't. You know what I mean? They pay us.
Yeah.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Spoiler free, man. I got phone calls and text messages. We got business to handle.
That's right.
Spoiler free.
Well, speaking of business to handle, we're going to take a short break here.
Yep.
And we're going to check out this ad from our sponsor. And when we return, we are going to have our main event with the Body Snatchers.
Should be the main event.
Yeah. So we will be back with the Body Snatchers right here on Opinion City.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Introducing Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles, your ultimate destination for all things wrestling nostalgia. At Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles, they don't just sell items, they curate memories. Whether you're a fan of the classic era or modern showdowns, they've got something for everyone. Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles sells DVDs, books, magazines, action figures, and so much more. So stop on by Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles, where every piece tells a story and every fan becomes a part of the legacy. Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles is conveniently located inside Mother Tucker's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 566 North Reading Road in Ephrata, PA. Stop on by Thursday through Monday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Give them a call at 717-405-0153 or find them on social media at Ref Larry's WC. Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles is a proud sponsor of the Opinion City podcast. And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the Opinion City podcast. And we just want to thank Ref Larry's Wrestling Collectibles for being a proud sponsor of the Opinion City podcast. If you'd like to be a sponsor, please reach out to us via email at opinioncitypod@gmail.com.
Or get your body snatched.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
And on that note, it's time. Sean,
It's
you know what
time.
time it is?
It's time.
It's time for our main
event. This week, for the series finale of the Monster Factory series, these guys are going big with their top 5 lists. They are doing top 5 things they cannot live without. I don't even know how you can narrow it down to 5, but we're going to find out.
Keep it short, too.
So whoever wants to go first, or do you want to go back and forth, or just do your top 5 in a row?
Yeah.
However you want to do it. Let's start it off with your number 5.
Yeah. I'll start.
This thing. Sorry,
All right.
So it's going to be probably no particular order. The first thing I can't live without is music.
Of course.
Specifically,
I agree.
Spotify Premium.
I agree.
You get skips. You can listen to everything in order.
Yep.
I listen to music all the time.
Yep.
Got a Dabot character is heavily influenced by the Wu-Tang Clan.
Nice.
Hella rappers.
Love it.
So shout out to rap. Shout out to Spotify.
Nice.
What's one thing I can't live without? Definitely.
You didn't already have your list
No,
planned
because
out?
there's a lot of things. I'm a very needy person.
It is.
That's why I'm saying it's hard to narrow it down to 5.
Yeah, because
it's hard, man.
I'm a very needy person. But in all honesty, the one thing that I really definitely need is my phone.
Oh.
Everybody obviously needs their phone, but honestly, I do everything off my phone. I mean,
Right.
podcast right now off my phone.
Right.
I create all my content on my phone.
Right.
All my wrestling stuff, everything, my whole history has been on my phone. So if I lose my phone, Marvelous is gone forever.
Marvelous is done.
I just want to say all the cool Body Snatchers videos you've been seeing is all from him and his editing.
That's awesome.
Dude, that promo for JJ Dove and that tag team, oh, dude.
Those little two guys, man, thinking they're little Marvelous clones, man. I'm going to beat them up.
I bet you could live without them.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Victory Pro Wrestling, December 9th, but we'll leave that for later.
Anyway, of course.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
All right, so I guess we wanted to number 4.
All right, for me, that's gonna have to be my cats.
Oh, you got 2 cats?
I got 3 cats.
3 cats. All right.
3 cats. All with the letter G. We got Gremlin, we got Griffin, and then we got Goblin.
I love the names. Love the names.
I'll be bothering them when they're asleep. I'll just touch their little fat little bellies and then they bite the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Of course, because you mess with them. Yeah.
Crazy cat dad. Yeah. Love it.
Let's see, me. Next, right? I can't go without my mom's mac and cheese.
Wow, okay, that one's special.
Shout out to Mom's mac and cheese.
Shout out to Marvelous's mom.
Yeah, Mama Marv.
Mama Marv.
She could cook some mac and cheese, man. I definitely can't live without that. I really need that in my life.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to make it myself. So, Mom, stick around.
Mama Marv, go nowhere.
Go nowhere,
the
Mama
mac
Marv.
and cheese.
We need the mac and cheese.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Oh.
All right, what else we got?
Number 3.
Number 3. I've had number 3 probably since high school, but it is that Sticky Icky. I cannot live without it. I love it. It is that's my goal, is to be the Snoop Dogg of wrestling. So
okay.
Yeah. All right. Oh man, the Snoop Dogg of wrestling.
Snoop Dogg of wrestling. I love that.
At least
it helps with my recovery because we be training so much.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. I get
Sure. Right.
Awesome. Did not see that coming, but that was a good one.
That was good.
That coming either. That's
No.
All right, Marvelous.
I can't live without. I definitely can't live without my car because
I mean, of course, you gotta travel.
Besides the obvious that you need to drive back and forth and things like that. I used to definitely spend nights in my car. So like I can't live without my car. My one car that I've had since I was 18 and I'm way past my 20s now. I've had that car everywhere. Taking me to so many independent shows, up and down. So without the car, there's again no Marvelous. So
no car, no Marvelous.
You know, the
no mac and cheese, no
that.
Marvelous. Like, come on,
there's no Marvelous.
Awesome.
Shout out to Cars, bro.
Shout out to Cars.
Yeah. Not the movie, but Cars.
No, not the movie.
Just imagine there's talking cars. Okay.
Oh God.
Bro, what do you think?
Nightmares.
The radio is a
Nightmares.
fucking car.
Nightmares.
My car would say terrible things about me.
Terrible things.
Oh, horrible things. All right.
He's my passenger peasant.
This man can't even clean out his front seat, man. There's a freaking Happy Meals and all types of stuff, and
dead ass
it's like
having
move that.
You got the Disney 100th anniversary. I'm trying to get
Oh yeah, I was just at McDonald's the other day. I saw it. I almost got one. Yeah. Awesome.
I think we're on number 2.
All right, Dad, by number 2.
Number 2, I'm gonna say movies.
What's your favorite genre?
Before I wanted to be a wrestler, I wanted to be a movie director or writing movies.
That's cool.
But I'm a better wrestler than I am a movie maker. A lot of the stuff I do is inspired by movie characters and movies.
Right.
The one of the dude in the trunk recently, that's from Goodfellas.
Right.
And it was like deep in my subconscious because I didn't realize it until we done it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of like promos is from that I do, like the cadences are based on like the monologue type of like from like Scorsese type films.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Stuff like that. So that's my
Nice.
All right.
That was
Very cool.
That was pretty deep.
Like, give me this.
But now I'm like, I done forgot my number 2. I'm just listening to him. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me will definitely be my PlayStation.
Wait, which one?
Great call.
I got my 5 right now.
Okay.
Do you?
Okay.
I've had. I mean, I'm a little bit older, so I've had all the PlayStations.
What are some of your favorite games that you like to play?
You're not
Some
as
of
old
my
as
favorite
I am.
games.
Yeah.
So crazy things because I'm not much of a gamer, but I do get into some games. Assassin's Creed is definitely one of my.
Oh, it's a
favorites.
great game.
Dude,
Great
Odyssey
game.
was,
I love,
Odyssey
like,
was
the-
so good.
Yeah.
The history aspect, a lot
Right.
of like
Yeah.
I was
you said,
obsessed
similar
with
vibes,
Odyssey.
promos for
Yeah.
characters have
Yeah.
come through like gaming and Assassin's Creed. I'm a big sports guy. I love playing Madden.
Madden.
Those guys that's
Mhm.
always been playing Madden. Of course, I used to love the typical WWE games, but now
Of
what I do
course.
is I actually buy these WWE games now to create Marvelous.
Yes.
Nice.
I actually
very
have a
cool.
picture of my
Yeah.
whole outfit gear before I even had it made.
Yeah.
And I made it off the game and just kind of being real detailed with that. So, and then learning how to do moves. So I kind of
Right.
use that game as like an encyclopedia.
Low-key.
That's awesome.
You're doing
Low-key.
the same thing that Xavier Woods does, because Xavier Woods does the same thing. Like he'll go in the game,
Yeah, you
make
could
his
throw in-
gear, and then he'll
Yeah.
have the seamstress make that gear.
Exactly. Like that's how I kind of like mix and play with this. Like the gear I got now is just like based off Hollywood Hogan,
Right. Oh, nice.
and then games like that. And then of course, like you got Grand Theft Autos. I can't wait till that
Mhm.
comes out. It's a stress reliever. Just go around and pop some bodies.
Yeah.
smash body.
Yeah.
Like that's how I figure we are. We're like we're.
Yeah,
I look at
exactly.
us like we're
Exactly.
Grand Theft Auto characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we certainly are.
People go, "Who
Yeah.
are you guys?"
Absolutely.
Whatever. Like, we be like, yeah,
Absolutely.
we're cosmic entities, but no, like, we're Grand Theft Auto characters.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Number one.
Ooh, it's time.
Shit. Probably should have thought of number one.
You had
Nah,
you had
for
you
real
had
though?
weeks. You had weeks.
I know.
Ah.
I'm a piece of garbage like that. No, for real though, my number one is definitely food.
I
For
mean,
sure food.
of course.
I can't be the guy to dab out without it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's I love before I was a wrestler, before I even wanted to do anything, I went to culinary school during the
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's
Oh
awesome.
wow, I didn't know that.
And now you do.
I didn't know
Now you
that. That
do.
is
Now you do.
exclusive.
Fun fact.
And now everyone watches.
You heard it here first on the podcast.
Breaking news.
Podcast exclusive. I used to be a cook. Didn't like it. Because
Didn't like
people
it.
were rude, and you can't be rude back unless
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also the late nights really sucked. Fun
Oh,
story.
yeah.
Worked at a cheesecake factory in Philly.
Okay.
My closing shift was at 2 a.m. There's a
Oh.
Wawa on Broad Street. I'm about to take the Paco home. I buy a meatball sub. I bite into it. All my fucking meatballs land on the ground.
Oh no.
Hey.
Oh
Hey.
It was
no.
such a
Guess-
traumatic night. All my meatballs fell on the
This is all
ground.
new to me.
And
Oh
it was one of the
no.
worst nights of my life.
And do you know what that was? That was number 4.
Jeez, this guy has a number 4. This guy has a worse, huh?
No. Yeah. What word were we saying? What word were we counting?
Oh, F word. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's number four.
We're on 4.
That was his-
Hey, not
he-
bad
he
for an hour. That's not bad.
Not
Because
bad.
if you talk
Not
to
bad
me-
at all.
If you talk to me outside the podcast for 5 minutes,
I'm like F this, F
if
that.
you hear me when I wrestle, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
So my favorite food, just off top though, like I know it's
Yep.
not part of the thing, but I love
Mhm.
like fast food, fire.
You have the worst stuff.
Mhm.
What do I have the worst?
Because like I just heard like this is a new story. Everybody listeners, I've never heard this story before. I've heard multiple other like stories that he's had, and
Right.
it always ends the same. It's like
Right.
bro, you always fall flat on your face. How?
No, but yeah, I love like Spanish food. I love Japanese food and
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Chinese food is so good.
Mhm.
Shout out to the Chinatown in Philly for putting
Ooh,
me on to like
okay.
so much beautiful cuisine.
Mm, nice.
And then you go. No, it's your turn. What's
Number
your-
one?
Yeah, what's your
Number one.
Number one where I can't live without
Yeah.
is my Philadelphia Eagles, baby.
Woo!
Like,
Yes.
Game is on right now.
Yes.
Go Birds,
Yes.
Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Kelsey, Goddard, Swift, the real Swift, all that. Go Birds, because
Go
there's not a week that doesn't go by where I'm not wearing my jersey. Well, actually, I gotta go put my jersey on right now.
Yeah,
matter
look
of
at
fact.
that.
Look at
Wait,
this.
we got,
Look
we
at,
got
look at us. Look at us
There
old
it is.
Eagles.
in the Kelly
There it is.
Bees right
Go
now.
There it is.
That is old. This is like from like the 60s.
Hey, hell
All
yeah,
about the
man.
Eagles.
Like,
It's
All
Bird
about the
Gang
Eagles.
all day over here. I love my Philadelphia Eagles. Even in the off season, I am
Right.
a huge Bird fan.
Right.
So
This
let's
is-
go.
I know y'all playing the game right now, but once y'all done and you watch this podcast, this is an open invite to any Philadelphia Eagle. We got Monster Week, first week of April, end of
Ayo.
March. Come on through.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. You know
Healthy,
what?
baby.
Block 'em.
Come on through. Danny Cage treat you good. We got front row seats. We got-
Listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you're
Oh.
a fan of the Eagles, get on social
Get
media,
on it.
start tweeting
Get
the Eagles,
on it.
tell them about the Monster Factory. Let's get them there. That would
Devontae
be
Smith
incredible.
Make it happen. Make it
Yo,
happen.
Yo, those guys are huge wrestling fans.
Oh yeah.
seriously.
Hell yeah.
Devontae Smith one time viewed my story and I popped so huge and I screenshot it. Bro. I
Tell me so.
Yeah.
was like, what are you doing looking at my story, bro?
CTRL,
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Yes.
Listen, the last time they won the Super Bowl, I went to the parade, and I'm planning on going again this
Yeah,
year.
I didn't get
I
to go. That's
was
my biggest
sick.
regret. That is
Oh,
that's honestly
bummer.
my biggest regret because my dad honestly I didn't get to take off and there was already people taking
Mhm.
off and my dad last minute was like, can we go? And I was like, damn, I can't get out of work and I regret that. So when they went this past year to the Super Bowl, I'm like, I gotta go with my dad,
Right.
Yeah.
And so now them being 9-1, hopefully it
Hey,
happens again this year. Let's go. I need to go. I need to
I have
feel
to-
that.
I have to keep the tradition alive. My dad missed their win by 1 year. He passed the year before, and we got to celebrate the Phillies World Series win together, so that was real nice. But he missed it by 1 year, so I keep the tradition alive for him.
Hey, but I'm glad that they got to win and gave you that positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I needed him too because there was not to even go far off track, but there was a little situation with my little brother and he was going through a really bad time and we didn't know what to do as a family.
Right.
Very difficult. But the only thing that was positive was the Eagles going all the way to that Super Bowl.
Yep.
So shout out to them.
Yeah.
And yeah. Shout out to the podcast here. Opinion Podcast.
No, listen,
we're
man,
here.
I don't-
We're live. We are an hour in.
See, this is why the Eagles and the Eagles fan base is so great. Not to get too far off, but seriously, like the Eagles fan base is so different because the Eagles fans, their lives are intertwined with their Eagles fandom. Like there are so many times where so many great things happen with the Eagles, and it's great wins for us personally in life. And I think that's what differs us from other fan bases.
They're I mean, I believe that the team, the city is very tough. We're going to ESPN.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
After like Stephen A. Those guys.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Philadelphia. Y'all really got that fighting spirit, that wrestling
Always.
that they just can't even tap.
are you guys? Wait, you say you're a Phillies fan though, right?
Yeah.
So
He's not. I don't think.
You guys are gonna hate on me, and I know
No,
this is
no,
gonna
no,
happen.
please, go ahead.
Everyone does. No, everyone does because everyone doesn't get it.
Go ahead.
But I was raised
no.
split.
Go ahead.
So I was split Giants and Eagles
Giants.
my whole life. So when they
Not
face
the baseball
off,
team Giants.
so no, the football team.
football.
So,
Mhm.
however, when they do face off, I will root for the Giants more than the Eagles. But if it's not face off, I'll root for Giants and Eagles. And I was raised on both sides.
What an
So-
identity crisis he's having. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
I bet you
insane.
be rooting for
Yo,
Spike Dudley.
you have Mike Awesome, Spike Dudley.
Yeah, so.
But I was saying because he said he was a Phillies fan up at the top, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually split also. When it comes
See,
to
I'm not the
baseball.
only one. I'm not
I
the only
am
one.
a New York Yankees, baby, the best team in the MLB. It doesn't matter. They could have 10 losing seasons. No team's going to catch up to their wins.
Well, you're
My
right
opinion
about
on
that, but
baseball
I
is
mean,
that the true American pastime is professional wrestling.
Of course.
thank you so
Bruno
much.
Thank you for bringing it back around. Thanks for bringing it
Is,
back
uh,
around.
Bruno Sammartino is more important to sports than Babe Ruth.
Ooh.
Gorgeous George is important to TV, too.
Oh,
That's
wow.
correct.
Yeah, Gorgeous
Absolutely.
George. Yeah, I said that name.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be these sportscasters cutting
Right.
these promos and things
Right.
like that.
We
Because
wouldn't-
of him, because of professional wrestling, you get what you get everywhere.
You like
Exactly.
you like end zone celebrations. I like Hulk Hogan doing this.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I don't
Of
like
course.
Hulk Hogan.
Of course.
Awesome. Well,
like that.
guys, man, this has been
Man,
an awesome way to
whirlwind.
end Monster Factory Month. Seriously,
what a way to
you
cap
guys-
it off. What a way to
Yeah,
cap
you
it
guys-
off.
You guys have been an absolute joy and a
overtime?
pleasure to have on this. Man, just a lot of fun. It was so good to have you guys. You know, thanks for being the tail end of the month here, wrapping us up in style.
Right.
Definitely a cool interview, and of course, you know, you guys are always welcome here on Opinion City. Anytime you guys want to come on, you have open invitations, and
you're part of the family now.
Yes, you are part of the family.
Blood in, blood out, baby.
Yeah, that's right. So before we wrap things up here, though, let's hop into some upcoming events.
Let's do it. All right. So why don't you guys tell us what you guys got coming down the pipeline?
All right. At the Monster Factory, December 18th. 16th.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure it's the 18th. December 18th or the 16th.
I think it's the
That's
16th.
Saturday.
I think it's the 16th.
16th. Oh, see, we don't know. Dan, I'm sorry. But,
Sorry, we plugged everything else though.
Yeah. December 16th, live at the Monster Factory. We got one last fight. We don't know if we'll be there because we're gonna beat the hell out of everyone.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, we don't know yet because we don't even have a title match or rematch or
Yeah.
anything. We don't know yet, so we don't know what's going to happen at the Monster
True.
Factory.
Get that
In
rematch.
case- But in case that something does happen, I can teleport. I could be in two places at once. So
There you go.
on the 16th, I'll be out in Lancaster for 3 Legacy Wrestling
Ooh.
out there with Ricardo Rodriguez and that crew out there. Amazing thing they got going on out in Lancaster. The crowds are amazing. So
Right.
I'll be there. But before that, we do as a tag team, the Body Snatchers.
Ew.
We're going to go all the way up to Bayshore, New York, December 9th for
Ooh.
Victory Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
We're going to get
My New York debut.
his New York debut, by the way. We're
Nice.
popping more carries out here. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying?
Sweet.
All right.
We got that going on. And of course, we got the new schedule.
New schedule, 9 p.m. start time on the TRL.
Every Friday
Yep.
we'll be there.
Every Friday, but we
Yep.
got a bit more of like a
Till they suspend us or something, we'll be there.
90s Disney vibe where it's like, you know, we're
90s
gonna,
Disney?
yeah, where they're gonna say damn and hell, but we ain't gonna say the F words.
We're the rated R portion of the show. You
Yeah.
never know what we're going to say.
Yeah, right.
So we're just
Right.
warning you now. I'm sorry for those in the front row. If I get hit too hard, of course I'm going to be like,
I'm gonna fall on you. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fall on you.
Fall on you, bro. Ain't, you know, ain't nothing personal.
but that's that hard hitting action that we bring to the table as the Body Snatchers. So
Right.
Um,
yeah, man, awesome,
yeah.
awesome time, man. I
Yeah.
love this.
I mentioned it earlier, but you know, we got WrestleMania season coming up real
Yeah.
soon, sooner than you imagine.
Monster Factory
Danny
week,
Cage
baby.
got some cool stuff planned. We got the Monster Week.
Yeah.
Gonna lead up to a big show end of the weekend.
By the way, if there's any legends,
Yeah.
okay, any
Monster Factory
legends,
legends that
any
don't
Monster
like us,
Factory alumni,
come say it to
whoever,
our face.
for real.
Come say-
You're not gonna come back in our building, all right,
Oh.
and think you guys are hot stuff. It doesn't matter if you're the
Yep.
headbangers,
D'Lo
okay,
Brown.
D'Lo Brown, the Godfather, Nation Domination. It doesn't matter
We
who
don't-
you are.
Yo, Damian Priest, son.
It could be Judgment Day for all you want. I'm actually Damian Priest. I don't know,
You
man.
cool
He
with
kinda,
that?
I think he kind of hit kind of hard, to be honest. With you.
He hit me.
Yeah.
He's a tall man.
Yeah.
He's bigger than you, man.
Bro, you know why they call him Damian Priest? Because I'm the god of dad bod.
You know what?
Yes.
That's
right.
exactly
Part of
right.
that body.
That's
You know
exactly
what?
right.
And I,
Show up end of April, you know what? Or we could be cool, you
Love
can hang out, you know what
whoever, any Monster
Blue
Factory
South.
person, whoever
Right.
it is, come out, come see the Body Snatchers, man. Because
Yeah.
we'll give you a welcome home present.
Yeah. So
Right.
definitely check out Monster Factory and check out the Body Snatchers where you can. Got a lot of good stuff coming up for them.
Oh yeah.
Sean, what do we got next week?
Next week we have the Mr. Joe Ruda, aka Mr. Ruda. He is a wrestling manager.
Yes.
He's also the one that creates custom belts, like the one behind me. You really can't see. It's a Nation of Domination belt that's signed by 3 members of the Nation of Domination.
Nice.
Go check out his belts. They are all amazing quality. Check him out. Check out what he's doing with PPW.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking to him next week.
Yeah,
Nice.
and don't forget to tune in this Tuesday night. We have a Opinion City special report.
Oh
coming up.
yeah.
The it is entitled CM Punk and the Art of Kayfabe. So it'll be myself and Sean. It'll be the debut. Oh
Yeah.
yep, that's right.
Yep, that's right.
It'll
That's
be
right.
the debut of Sean's
clobbering
brother.
time.
Oh
Yes. The honorary member will finally make his appearance
Yes.
and debut on the show.
Sean's
My
brother,
brother
Adam,
Adam the Guy. Shout out
Yeah.
to him. You'll finally be able to see his face on the show.
Nice.
30
And-
episodes
Hell
later.
Yeah, and
Shout
the
out
three
to
of
him.
and the three of
man.
us will be joined by our good friend Anthony Blackwell Jr. from the ABJ podcast.
Mhm. Shout out to your
So
podcast.
The four of us will be having a little round table on all the CM Punk stuff that's going on and just
Yep.
CM Punk in general. So it should be a fun time. That's Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Check
you
it
can find
out.
us same places you always find us: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's going to about wrap us up for the week here. And again, big shout out to the Body Snatchers for joining
Yes.
us. Really killing it here on the final week of Monster
Crushing it.
Factory Month. Oh, so
Crushing it.
awesome. Guys, big supporters. So please go out and support them. And
Yes.
we want to thank everybody who participated in Monster Factory Month.
Yes.
It was
Dude,
a
Max,
great
thank
time.
you.
By the way,
Bobby,
Max, I
Xander.
love you. I love you, Max Sterling.
Yes.
Shout out
Yes.
to
I'm
Max.
indifferent about you, Max.
Max,
I'm
you're-
indifferent about you.
I would never change up on you, Max. You are amazing
Marvelous,
to me, Max.
marvelous
Super
hearts,
Bowl right
Max.
Marvelous
Sterling.
hearts, Max Sterling.
Yes.
Hey, never mind.
Cash
So-
rules everything around me, baby.
Yeah.
Bream, get the money.
Get the
Dollar,
money,
dollar
baby.
bill,
Body
y'all.
snatch.
Yeah.
Check y'all out.
So
Who wants to see a snatched body? Yeah, I mean,
So a big thank you to everybody that helped make Monster Factory Month what it was, and
Yes.
it was a lot of fun, and
Absolutely.
so yeah, so we will see you guys next time. Make sure you follow us on
Yes.
socials at Opinion City Pod. Tell your friends if you are happening to walk by a car and you see a body that's
Talk
been
to
snatched.
a complete
tell them.
stranger off the
Yep.
street.
Talk to complete strangers.
Or you guys can go ahead and search up Marvelous XCII. And where can they find you at?
That's right.
Ayo.
find me on Gotta Dabod on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes. Hit
And-
those guys up, follow them. They got great stuff going on. They have the most amazing promos. Seriously.
Yes.
Like
Seriously.
stuff you
Working
stuff
on
you
more
can't-
consistently.
stuff
We're
you
working
can't live
on
without seeing. So it's been a great show, and Sean, I think that's gonna wrap us up.
That's going to wrap us up. Please be sure to check us out our past episodes as well as
Mm-hmm.
this week's episode. Let us know about your opinions on those topics as well as this week's topic, which was a hard one because, again,
Oof.
saying top 5 things you can't live without, that's a hard, narrow it down choice, man. Don't forget, 9 p.m. now, Fridays, TRL.
Yes.
Every Friday, it's free. Go out, support Monster Factory. If not, watch it on YouTube, free, live on their channel. Follow them at 4Monster Factory. This has been a Mancast Network production, and we'll see you next week with Mr. Ruda, Opinion City, signing off.
This is also Ann here. You're listening to Opinion City Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Happy trail